You've tuned into The Mountain Gardener with your host, Ken Lain. Gardening, it can be challenging, but with these simple insider tips, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, let's tune into today's Mountain Gardener with Ken and Lisa. And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of northern Arizona. It has been a wonderful summer. We're actually into that you can almost feel autumn. There's the last few days of summer where you can just taste it, just right there. And then it gets hot again. So your plants are celebrating too. They are growing like crazy. My native oaks, boy, they are growing fast. It's hard to keep up with. In fact, I did a little pruning because they were just hanging down to the ground and dinging in the forehead. Unacceptable. When you're growing in my gardens, you're going to keep maintained. These are wild plants. Actually, all plants are wild. If you don't maintain them, they tend to go crazy. And so you got to keep them in their bounds. It's like a beautiful poodle or doodle. You got to keep them trimmed, keep them looking good. Otherwise, you get kind of mangy looking. The personality doesn't change, but their looks do. So plants are like that. They just need to be, and they appreciate. Plants feel prettier when you give them a haircut. They like it. They respond quickly to it. One thing we are noticing in my gardens, and we get a lot of folks come in here at Waters Garden Center. They're if they don't know what to do, they've done their research, it doesn't make sense online. They come in, and we're seeing a lot of heat stress, and so we see some damage from like 3 or 4 leaves back. There's some brown leaves, brown tips. Obviously, it's heat stress. And then the new growth is coming out okay. And so folks are really worried going, is this something to be, I'm stressing out over this. I can't sleep over my plant. What should I do? Just water it. You're good. Fertilize it here in a couple weeks. By the end of September, fertilize, and it'll come back and just be beautiful. What happened was about a month ago, I don't know, don't remember exactly, but about a month ago, it went to like 100 degrees. It was really fast. We just went whoosh, and it stressed out plants. No matter how much you watered, you couldn't keep them happy. They were just in survival mode. And then the rain started coming, the ground started hydrating, it started to cool off, and all that new growth started coming out fresh again. So you've seen older damage on plants, and then you're seeing the new growth coming out relatively looking good. So that's just heat stress. Don't worry. It's going to go into fall. They're going to start losing their leaves in October sometime, and they'll reset and be fine. So kind of, if you really needed to water correctly at that point, if you made a mistake, you had some stress on it. Another one I'm noticing, I've had several customers coming in with bright yellow leaves, or obviously chlorosis is what they call it, yellowing, or the green cells just turned yellow. They're just, that's a pH thing. The chemistry of the soil has changed and the plant is struggling. And so the pH, as you start watering a lot, the ground will start taking on whatever the pH is of your water. And our water, all of us, are very alkaline. That is, it's very high. And so if it goes too high, what happens is the minerals that are there in the soil, you can give it iron to green it up. But if the pH is too high, it won't be effective. And so the pH, it locks up all the nutrients, the good stuff, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, and the minor trace elements, the copper, the boron, the iron, the magnesium. The plant is there, but the plant can't get to it because it's just stressed out. If you lower the pH, it just automatically starts greening up. It's like instant. I mean, we're talking by the end of the next week, it's green. Oh my gosh. And so we've been telling folks, put some soil sulfur on those plants that are very yellow, and keep doing it with every fertilizer. You're fertilizing 4 times a year. So our fertilizer has some sulfur in it, but we're afraid to put too much or we'll overcompensate for folks. So if you're struggling with high pH, you want to add to it, kind of supplement the fertilizers with additional soil sulfur. And so I would say you're putting the fertilizer down in October. So if you're thinking holidays, just think Halloween, New Year's, Easter, and 4th of July. And the reason there's 4 times you're doing it with a good granular food, is so we're trying to compensate for these yellow plants. The ground is not your friend, and the water is even less your friend. So we're trying to compensate for these things so the plants can adapt and just thrive. And so we're seeing some yellowing right now. If it goes into fall with that yellow, you'll lose your fall color. So autumn blaze maples, I'm seeing that. Apples, I'm seeing yellow. What else? I saw some herbs. Vincas are showing yellow. They've been watering like crazy. The soil has taken on the pH of the water, and all of a sudden it locks up the minerals, and the plant can't grow anymore. It just goes yellow. It just becomes, they're just like looking at a anemic person. They're sick, go in bed, and they just look terrible. You can tell from a distance, you go, oh, they're not feeling very well. Well, plants are this, they're just like people. They're telling you something, going, I just don't feel good. I'm not going to bloom anymore. I'm just going to hang out here until I get to feeling better. I'm not going to grow anymore. I'm just going to keep yellowing. I just keep condensing into myself and saving the core of myself for later. But if you change that pH, you put some soil sulfur on it, pray for rain, or get water it in, boy, it just activates everything right now, and the plant turns green. You'll need that if you want your red maples to be red. If you want your really intense, beautiful aspens to turn the silver berries, the service berries, the ash trees, this beautiful purple, you'll need that deep, rich green. That's what brings out the color. If the pH goes up too high, it starts to mute. It starts to just washes it out, and it becomes less vibrant of a color. So if you don't lose it altogether. So kind of important, something to put on your radar. It seems to happen every year about this time, right after a real heavy, some rain and a heat, kind of a hot spot where we've been watering a little bit more than normal. We start to see this yellowing or chlorosis coming out. It's okay. Keep it going. So you can correct them pretty easily. Watering, I did write an article this week on watering. It's H2-Whoa, Guide to Summer Water. And we started out, I don't know if you read this, it's in all the newspapers. It's picked up by 3 or 4 newspapers. It's our newsletter that we send out to our core kind of garden club members. There's 12,000 of you that have joined up. So thank you very much. But this is the article I write for them, and it's appropriate for this time of year. So it says, morning or evening watering, which one's better? Morning. Always morning. Here at this elevation, if plants are real wet going into the evening, they stay wet. And then you get all this leaf spot, leaf mildew, and just all kinds of problems. So the second one was wilting. Is it a cry for help or a coping mechanism? Plants this time of year, especially big plants like tomatoes, they're big crybabies. They're just always whining. You get them off, they're too hot, they're too cold, they're all whiny. So they'll start whipping at the very end of the day. If they're a little bit dry, they start to droop. The second that sun goes down, they go, oh, just I'm back. Here we go. If you can, wait until morning to water those things. They'll be happier because tomatoes, they want to die from leaf spot, vernillum wilt, all kinds of diseases. If they're wet in the evening, you're going to have issues. Water in the morning, let them dry out towards the end of the day, they'll do better. Annuals versus perennials. Perennials are deeper rooted. They've got very large, like a pampas grass or a big mum. The mums came in this week. So big, huge, there must be 3-4 feet across. They're ginormous garden mums. They got real deep roots. Whereas an annual, they've got real shallow roots. So annuals take more frequent watering than perennials do. Trees take less watering than perennials do. So just kind of look at the size of the root mass, and that'll be different. Containers, they're just thirsty. You can't overdo. I can't say that. It's difficult to overdo a container plant because it's got drainage. You got the perfect soil. It just the water flows right through, comes out the hole at the bottom, and it's hard to overdo it. So I've been watering hours every day, and I'm backing off. I'm trying to back off to every other day, but I'm just seeing they're still just a little hot yet. So another week or two, I'll throttle back the irrigation to every other day. Vegetable gardens the same way. Treat them just like a container. They're thirsty when they've got fruit. You want to keep that even moisture out there. And then trees and shrubs, they just need a deep soak once a week. That's probably enough. And that's how you water things. So get the article or get that. If you want, you can go to watersgardencenter.com and under the Learn button. At the very top, there's a button that says Learn. And there's a garden class. If you want that article right from my desktop to yours, just put your name and email address down. There you go. You'll have a copy next week. So Kennett Waters with our Monster Monsoon sale, our only sale of the year.
Truckloads of fresh autumn maple, aspen, and spruce have just arrived, and we need room, so summer plants must go.
Perennials, trees, shrubs, even pottery must go, and it's worth your while with plant sales at 25, 45, even 65% off.
It's Waters' only sale of the year at Waters Garden Center, 1815 Iron Springs Road in Prescott.
Where people who love great plants at sale prices, they love to shop. For a more fruitful garden, increased success in the landscape that just feels better, then tune in daily to the Mountain Gardener podcast. Subscribe through your favorite podcast streamer or visit watersgardencenter.com. Better yet, visit me directly right here at Waters Garden Center. Thanks for tuning in.